All right, welcome to this screencast on graphing a line using the equation. So you've already been learning about slope, and we know that the slope is the rise over the run, and that the y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So every time you write an equation in the form y equals mx plus b, and when you do that, you are giving the slope and the y-intercept. So what we're going to do is we're going to use that information so that we can then make the graph. So you've been looking at the graph and then making the equation, and now we're going to work backwards. So here's our steps in doing that. So you can always refer back to the top. I'm going to do a couple with you, and then you will do some on your own as practice. So we're going to, let's start with this first equation. Y equals 2x plus 1. So the first thing I want to do is I want to identify what the slope and the y-intercept are. So the slope here is 2, and the y-intercept is 1, 0, 1. So the y-intercept is a point, and the x value should be 0, and then the y value is the number in the equation. Okay, the slope is the rise over the run. So we're going to come back to the slope here in a second. Let's now plot the y-intercept, and I'm going to make my graph go up by 1s. So the y-intercept is 0, 1, so I'm going to put a dot here at 0, 1. And then from there, I'm going to use a slope. Well, this slope only has one number, and the slope is really the rise over the run. So what I need to do is prop it up with a stick. So put 1 under it. So that means I'm going to rise 2 and go over 1. And now I'm going to put a dot there. Rise 2 over 1. I can even go backwards. If I'm going to go backwards, though, I'm going to drop 2 and go left 1. Drop 2, go left 1. And there you go. So there is that line. So I'm going to graph that line. So when you're graphing the line, it's not just the points itself, it's all of the points that exist. So there's infinite points, and you want to make sure it goes on forever. So you draw your arrows going this way. So let's go over that again. First, we identify the slope and the y-intercept. Then we plot and put the point on, that's the y-intercept. We count the rise and the run, and we put on the next point. We want to do that at least twice. And then we use a straight edge or a ruler to draw the line. And that's as simple as it gets. So in this one here, this equation, the slope is negative 2/3. So I'm going to write that as negative 2 over 3. So I took the negative and I put it with the rise. And there's only one negative here. So it should still only be one negative in your slope. The y-intercept is 0, negative 2. So now I'm going to plot that point on my graph. And then from here, I'm going to do the rise over the run. Well, if the rise is negative 2, that means I actually go down 2. 1, 2. But I'm going to still go to the right 3. 1, 2, 3, and put a point. Again, I'm going to go down 2, but I go to the right 3. If I want to work backwards, remember when I went down 2, I have to go up 2, and go backwards, and to the left 3. And there you go. So there's a couple points on my line. So here's my straight edge, and I'm going to use that to draw the line. So that's how when I made the line, I made it all the way off the paper. So there it is, making the line. So you can try the other ones, and there are more on the back to practice. On the back, though, you only have to choose 4 of them. So you pick the 4 you want to do. And this last one here is a challenge because it's not in slope-intercept form. So you would have to, you can't readily find the slope and the y-intercept. You have to do some things to the graph to do that, to the line to do that. So, but you only have to do 4 on the back as practice. All right, so just to go over it one more time. The first thing you're going to do is identify the slope. So tell me what the slope is. Tell me what the y-intercept is. Remember, it's a point. Then you're going to plot that point on the graph. Then you use the slope. Rise, over run. Rise, over run. Put at least 3 points on your graph. Then use a straight edge and draw the line. Okay, that's it. If you need any help, ask questions. Thanks.